Alright, so I set out to start this video as how to lower your Toyota truck, even though it's been done a million times and there's tons of videos and all that good stuff. But believe it or not, even using a name brand quality kit that's been around since I got into mini trucks, man, I mean, the name Belltech has been around for a minute. 20 years? 30 years? I don't know. Long time? 20 years? 15 years? I have no idea. Maybe we should look that up and put it below. It's going to pop up on the screen anytime right now or something. But basically, it turned into a video of all the problems and all the little things I had to correct around the way or during the process. And I guess the reason that happens is because these kits are universally designed to fit so many other vehicles. I'm sure this part number for the shock is meant to fit a whole line of vehicles. And so I even encountered some issues there. And well, that's pretty much what you're going to see in this video is all the little problems I ran into along the way. We'll do a brief walk around of like before and after heights, you know, so you guys can get an example of or an idea of what exactly you're going to get if you go out and purchase this kit. I did purchase this kit through Amazon, so I'll put the links for that below. And yeah, let's get to it. Well, yeah, I guess one more thing before we get started is instructions, right? It's got all kinds of good stuff in here that's going to tell you like, well, it doesn't tell you torque specs, so you're going to have to find that online. And, oh yeah, disconnect the battery and wear safety glasses and stuff. Probably not going to learn anything except what not to do from this video. But hopefully there's a few out here that this helps. So there seems to be tons of videos on YouTube and the internet. Instructions, who needs them? If you're wondering about the size of the tire, the rims, what brand and all that, I have no idea. I picked them up off OfferUp for like a smoking deal of, well, they're all bent and dry rotted and worn out. Yeah, so we'll have to do something about that. Maybe in another episode, right? Maybe in a future video, is that what they say? Good tires. Yeah, you can kind of already see the issue here, huh? But, you know, basically, these rims and tires, I'm almost embarrassed to say, like, how little I gave for these things. So. That's a problem for another day. Alright, so things are going to be a little bit different for me in the disassembly than they probably would be for you because I have new control arm bushings, or new control arms going on, brand new bushings and all that good stuff. I'm replacing upper and lower ball joints. The fact that these ball joints all bolt in mean that I'm probably just going to skip a lot of steps. I don't have to worry about separating these from my spindle, and I'm just going to unbolt everything and throw it all to the side because I'm putting all new on anyways. Now, if you're reusing your ball joints, you're going to go ahead and want to take these apart differently. There's probably another video for that. It's really not that complicated. It's just sometimes you use more F words than you need to. But, yeah, in my case, this is probably this outer tie rod end on each side is probably all I'm going to disconnect that I'm going to be reusing. And by the looks of the age of all this steering and the amount of oil down here, I'm probably going to end up getting all that ordered up, call my local auto parts store, and get that stuff ready before I put this back on the road. Might as well go to the alignment shop with all new parts. So, I mean, we're talking, what, another $150, $200? I don't know what your budget situation is, but even if the thing's got to sit here for a couple of months while I collect some cans or bottles and recycle them or however it goes, donate some plasma. I can't see driving on all that worn out stuff, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's get in here real close so you guys can see what's going on. So, this is a ball joint flip, right? So if you tuned in just for this, all it means is moving this ball joint from the bottom side of the control arm to the top side of the control arm. Then, if you're so bold, do the same thing on the bottom, right? This will get you that, you know, mythical 1 to 1.25 inch free drop you always hear about. Help take some of that camber out of the torsion bars, right? Out of the front end there, and get you a free hinge, right? Because we're all looking to go lower for free. So that's what it looks like, upper and lower. And you can see what I was talking about with moving that plate for the nut hardware to the bottom side and just sliding the bolts to the top, and that takes care of that problem. Of course, with any 30-year-old vehicle, you're going to get some wear and tear. You can see like bump stops, right? Sway bar bushings, tie rod ends I told you I ordered. You can see like some steering box linkage going on here. And those are things that are all going to be needed to be addressed with time. Of course, if you're planning on bagging your vehicle, then these are all things you got to deal with anyway. So you're not even going to have this in here. So yeah, for now, it's just going to be a fun little daily driver for me. So I just wanted to get her low. All right. So this is where we're at, and I'm just going to go ahead and put this out there. I'm sure it's just operator error and I'm a moron. I didn't find anything on the internet, on YouTube. I didn't find anything in the instructions. And it's kind of a weekend deal for me, and I know I could deal with the manufacturer, email some questions, and make sure I have the right fit and everything. But I'm going to tell you, I ran into some huge problems when installing these shocks that came with this kit. And one of the main complaints I had and issues was the shock body on the upper did not fit through the lower control arm to allow me to slide the whole thing through. Nor could I drop it from the bottom down through here because the ears that the 2 bolts that bolted to the lower control arm go through didn't fit through this opening. So I had 2 choices, right? I could cut this control arm to make it fit, or I could pound it and make it fit, or I could just squeeze my brand new shock back out and then press it back in. So that's what I chose to do. I chose to take the actual body of the shock, press it out, press the mounting point out, 2 bolts, and then press it back in using a ball joint press. Then I got it up into location where it was supposed to be, and it wouldn't get in up here. It didn't fit. Because if you notice this fresh metal, I had to take about that much off for it to not interfere with the shock, so that it would have the correct, I guess, angle up and down to be able to reach through the stock mounting location. I don't know if anybody else has had this issue, but I'd love to hear your guys' input. Tell me I'm a moron, and let me know. The old shock fell apart, so I really can't use that as reference. It fell apart. So I don't know. Belltech's been around for a long time. I would have figured you'd have figured this out by now. So either A, I got the wrong part, or B, I'm an idiot. And I'm waiting for you guys to comment below and tell me which one of that I is, or I am, or a little bit of both. So anyways, there you have it. At some point I'll have to clean up that bump stop, take everything off, and fix that a little bit better. But that's a job for another day. All right, it's late in the day, so I apologize for that. The sun has shifted a little bit behind me, and it might make this a little hard to see. I didn't plan for this install video to get into one of these sessions, but I guess it's going to be kind of a gripe session too, because we just discussed earlier about this situation with the sock, and it really has me guessing and wondering if I got the right kit or not, because I'm just coming across so many problems with this kit that I haven't seen addressed online much. Now, I did see some other guys on other videos and in forums, on Toyota forums and stuff, talking about having issues with the shock clearance and things like that. Well, now I'm on to the dust shield part of this install, which is fine, but if you guys remember, okay, so, yeah, I'll try and do this. Here, let me set this guy down. Here. Let's do a little... Alright, so if you guys remember, right, our dust shield originally had these 2 guys at the top, pulled this on, and then we had our long bolts that came through from the back side to hold the original mounts for the tie rod end on, which is now part of the lower spindle. So these don't pass all the way through. So what they've done is on the new spindle, they've tapped 2 additional holes for bolts, a total of now 4 small bolts. They didn't supply this hardware, or I didn't get it in the box, if so. So I don't know who's to blame here. If it's Belltech for not designing it, or not including it, or Belltech 4 including it, and like someone in packaging not putting it in my order. But either way, I'm gonna have to run to the hardware store and get 4 bolts because the original bolts bottom out now in the dust shield. There was something in the instructions. I didn't toss them. I had to go dig them out. Luckily for me, trash hadn't come yet. And there was nothing about replacing this hardware or finding your hardware included with it. I did find some cotter keys in the bottom of the bag, but I got new ball joints, so I already got new cotter keys anyways. So I don't know what to say. I did come across one thing in the instructions, and maybe I'll encounter this on the passenger side, but it says that there's modification of the dust shield. You need to take a grinder or cutoff wheel and cut this off. I'm not exactly sure why, because it doesn't interfere with anything on my truck. Maybe that's a passenger side thing. We'll find out when we get over there. But right now, I'm just short 4 pieces of hardware because, like I said, these bottom out long before the dust shield gets tight. So I guess off to the parts store to solve that problem. All right, so quick trip to the auto parts store. And yeah, 4 total. And hopefully that helps anybody else out that's in a pinch. I'm gonna go ahead and not do my towel reds tight until now so I can kind of guesstimate my alignment until I get it to the alignment shop. So I'm going to leave this loose till I get the wheels back on the ground. Time to go ahead and put the hubs back on, bolt everything up. So probably put some fresh grease on this guy, fresh cotter keys, and get it back on the ground. All right. I don't know how well you guys can see me here. Here, let's try and get a little light on the situation. All right, we're in that 11th hour. As you can tell, it's pretty dark, right? But actually, it's not true. It's only like 7 o'clock. This is what I came up with. Yeah, that's right. I turned them into open-eared, regular Chevy style, GM style stuff. And here, let's go ahead and scroll this down. Check it out. Check it out. Let's get some light on here. Yeah, this side's a little greasy. I know. Look at it. Wow, look at that, drops right in. So what a better solution when you have a couple cups of coffee. You just like remember, hey, you know that old car you have, you know that Jeep that handles the off-road? Yeah, it's made like that. And that little bit of clearance, taking a grinder and cutting that little bit off of each side of that bar pin makes it drop right in. Problem solved. Yep, you still need to notch that guy for clearance on the shock body though. I don't know what that's about. Otherwise, it's not making it through that tower. As it is, there's only probably a 1/4 inch of clearance on that shock tower. So, but as you can see, these are the Nitro Drop 2 shocks that were provided with the kit, the 44444 ND Nitro Drop kit from Belltech, and yeah, a little bit of modification, but otherwise, I guess it works. Back to the show. So here is the dilemma. Look at the size of this, and look at the size of that. And that's the way it is. That's a huge hole. This is a little hole. Like, I don't even think you could open this up enough to get that in there. I'm pretty sure that that's not the right way to do that. And again, like, nobody's had this problem with this kit before. So what should have been an easy install on the back has now turned into like a what do I do type situation, because these things, whatever these are, this is welded. This is one piece, like this is welded on here. So I don't know if this is original factory. I don't know what the deal is, but yeah. I guess I'm going to cut it off. And then the question becomes, if I cut it off, this bracket, do I ditch this spring and put a new bolt and nut through here? Something that, like a pin that goes in there, right? Anyways, that's about what we need. And that's all we got, so. Alright, let's do this. There's nowhere in here that it will break them out. Does it say anything about what I'm about to show you guys? So, take a walk with me. Shall we? One of my favorite YouTubers, he always says that. Shall you? Look at what we got going on here. I want to explain something. Because the coffee is not what it was at 8 o'clock this morning. Here, let's get it back to where we were. Here's the situation. We got this big old ugly thing on here with this huge circle. Get this camera closer. Huge circle right here, right? Look at that. Now there's no way that little circle is going to fit on there and help align that. So you need one of these big old guys right here to knock that thing off, so that this guy will now, look at that, fit the way that it's supposed to, and then locate into the top. Now why didn't someone bother to say it like that in the instructions or something? I don't know. Maybe I'm the only guy that had this issue. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. For now, I'm going to go ahead and leave all these springs in place. I may come back later and pull the helper. I may come back later and go down to a monoleaf and leave the helper. This may all just go by. But for now, I'm going to do the okay thing. I'm going to do the respectable thing for right now until I see exactly how this thing sits. And we're going to go ahead and leave those springs in place. So, alright, now you just get the new old hardware there and put it all together. Alright, so here we are. Everything's buttoned up. These are long for now because I don't know if I'm coming back and pulling a spring or not. It's kind of late in the day right now, so for tonight I'm just going to go ahead and get her on our wheels and put her out in the sunlight and go from there. I might still have to address these bump stops too. I'm not sure if these are going to need cut down or if I'm going to have to buy shorter ones. Knowing me, I'll probably just cut them down for now. But yeah, I'm probably going to have to do something about these guys. And here, let's get a look at those new shocks all installed in there. Everything's buttoned up. That's it. Get the wheels on, get the jack down. So, going for the initial test drive, and I can already tell you, just replacing all those worn out parts, that was worth it by itself. Had a little bit of tire defender issue pulling out of the driveway. Clearly you can tell we needed alignment. I just got it set close enough to get to the shop, but you know, wanted to take it out and see how it did before we got it there. So, yeah, around the block. How about that? Alright, so real quick, here's where we're at. We just went for a test drive. I'm back, I'm home, everything's pretty good, ready for the alignment shop. And then it hits me. This kit, it does exactly what it says. And you know, I was expecting after all the stuff on the forums of doing a ball joint flip and that to really get that extra inch out of the front. Now that it's settled in and everything, well, I'll put the photos up here and you guys can see. This kit was advertised as a 2 and 3, and I pretty much said that's basically exactly what we got. You can judge for yourself looking at these photos. So, yeah, I think before I spend the money on a proper alignment shop, this really isn't what I set out for. I kind of wanted a little bit lower. I mean, it's a very respectable drop. It's definitely a nice driving drop to where you could still haul and use your truck and all that. But I think I'm going to go ahead and pull the bump stops on this guy. Get some smaller bump stops ordered up and crank the torsions a little bit and pull the main leaf in the rear. If you guys want to see all that and see how I get it done, just go ahead and get ready for the next video. Click it. The link is going to be somewhere in the video.